Alright guys, we have got to talk about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse because there is so much going on in this film, so much that happened, so much that is left hanging, of course, with this big, huge cliffhanger going into the third movie with Beyond the Spider-Verse next March, which is super exciting. But guys, that of course means we are talking full spoilers for this video. If you have not yet seen Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, go check out my non-spoiler review, and if you have seen it, also check out my spoiler review. But for now, we got to talk about Earth 42, because that's kind of one of the biggest parts of the cliffhanger for this movie, is that Miles, that's one of the big reveals, is that the spider that bit Miles is actually from Earth 42, and Miles is an anomaly. So when he gets scanned by the send back home machine or whatever it was called, he gets sent to Earth 42 because he has the Earth 42 DNA in his blood. So he gets sent there, and this is where we get the big reveal that the Miles of this universe is not Spider-Man, but instead is the Prowler. So there's some crazy stuff going on here. But what I really want to talk about in this video is that, clearly there's the setup here of we're going to get Miles versus Miles, Spider-Man versus Prowler. That's going to be a cool element of Earth 42 already in Beyond the Spider-Verse, but a very interesting detail that could just be a little background reference and detail that may mean absolutely nothing, or could mean everything to this third movie. Because in the background, a lot of people have picked up on this, where obviously we have J.K. Simmons cameoing and doing the voice of J. Jonah Jameson in multiple different universes here, but in Earth 42, at the beginning of this scene with Aaron Davis, he has the TV on. J. Jonah Jameson is talking about the Sinister Six Cartel. So the Sinister Six, of course, in the comics is the classic Spider-Man villain group of 6 Spider-Man villains who team up to take down Spider-Man together. And it's a group that is, over the years, had so many different variations, so many different members, and it's always been something I have so desperately wanted to see done on the big screen, mainly in live action. But now that it's a possibility in animation with Beyond the Spider-Verse and this whole Spider-Verse franchise, this gets me really excited as well. But the Sinister Six Cartel specifically, because in the comics it's just called the Sinister Six. So what is the Sinister Six Cartel? Well, what we know about this Earth 42 is that it's basically run by criminals. There's no heroes. Jefferson Davis is dead. There's no Spider-Man. The city is flooded with crime. And so in this newscast, when JJJ is talking about the Sinister Six Cartel, he's talking about how basically like people are getting caught in the crossfire of the Sinister Six Cartel. So it almost makes me think that either, I'm not even completely sure if these villains are working together or if they have like separate divisions, but it's almost like a gang war, which I think is actually really, really cool. Now, just this fact alone is really intriguing. Could be possibly teasing that, hey, we're getting a version of the Sinister Six in Beyond the Spider-Verse. That's really cool on its own. But if you look even deeper, there are actually hints and Easter eggs in the background which may confirm the members of this Sinister Six. Just to point out a few here, we have Vulture Core, we have Onyx, of course, electronics, but Electro is in all caps. We also have Scorpo, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff going on here as well. So this basically gives us a lineup of 6 Spider-Man villains, plus one more. There's also a reference to Hammerhead, but I feel like we have this 6 team member team of the Sinister Six. So let's break it down. One of the references is, of course, to Dr. Octopus. There's a sign in the background that says Oct 8. So obviously, you can't really do a Sinister Six without Dr. Octopus, so that makes complete and total sense. And what's really interesting about that, though, is that we got a version of Dr. Octopus in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse with Olivia Octavius, the female version of Doc Ock. So, especially considering that this universe of Earth 42 is so similar to our main 1610 universe where our main Miles came from, it would make sense that the Doc Ock of this universe would also still be Liv, aka female Doc Ock. So that will be really cool to see her return, just like how in Beyond the Spider-Verse we know we're bringing together the characters of Across the Spider-Verse and Into the Spider-Verse with a team that Gwen assembled at the end with Across the Spider-Verse heroes like Spider-Man India, Spider-Punk, Spider-Bite, but also bringing back the heroes from the first movie with Peter B, Penny Parker, Spider-Man Noir, and Spider-Ham. So we could also be bringing together villains from Across the Spider-Verse as well as villains from Into the Spider-Verse and also villains who have yet to appear. So we have Liv. So she would, I'm assuming, be leading the team. And then we also have a reference in the background. Like I said, there was a Scorpo. Scorpion was another character that also appeared in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So if we got another version of that character, I wouldn't mind this one being a little different, though, because I wasn't a huge fan of this take on Scorpion. It is based on the Ultimate Universe version of the character. But, you know, I'm definitely excited to see some more Scorpion. And the other one that was in previous Spider-Verse films was Vulture. Of course, he made a brief appearance at the beginning of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, but that was a made out of paper, very Leonardo da Vinci medieval version of Vulture. So we could get, if we get the Vulture here, which there's a background reference to Vulture Corp. I'm assuming it would be a different looking version because, of course, you know, that was a completely different alternate universe. So maybe we could get a more, you know, green version of the Vulture. I think that would be honestly really, really cool. And whether it's going to be an actual bird-like character or somebody in a robotic suit like we got with the MCU's version of Vulture, there's definitely a lot of possibilities with there. I just really love the alternate designs and everything that these Spider-Verse movies really take advantage of. Then we have the Sandman. So there is a background sign for like a Sandman Rolex watch. So that actually just in general sounds like a really cool idea. But Sandman is one of my favorite classic Spider-Man villains. He was the best part of Tobey Maguire and Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3. Of course, we got Thomas Hayden Church back as the character in No Way Home. Sandman is a really cool character that we have yet to see in this franchise, but I feel like, you know, he already looks really cool in the live action films. Sandman is a character that specifically I feel like could look really, really visually interesting and really cool, especially during action sequences during an animated movie like Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, because, you know, the animation and the art style of this franchise is one of its key elements. So Sandman would be a really cool character to see in the playing field for this team. And then we have Rhino. Not this one, because of course, you know, this is just the boring, plain old Rhino that was in the asylum there. But Spider-Man villain Rhino, Alexei Sitsevich, however you pronounce it. This is another cool one as well. We did get a couple versions of him in Across the Spider-Verse, whether it would be the same version that we saw sent back to his original universe, or if it would be a new version. There is a sign in the background to a Rhino casino, so there's that. And then finally, rounding out the Sinister Six, we have Electro, again with the Electro phone, electronics. So Electro is a character that actually there's already been rumors will appear in Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. I'm going to be doing a separate video about that, so stay tuned for that. This is actually a little bit of a sneak peek at the thumbnail for that video. But yeah, so Electro is coming. I think, again, just like Sandman, another one that's going to be really uniquely cool and look really special with this art and animation design and style. So that is where we have our Sinister Six. We have Dr. Octopus, we have Electro, we have Vulture, we have Sandman, Scorpion, and the Rhino. But like I said, they're the Sinister Six Cartel. And with specifically how these are signs around the city, you know, they could just be references just to tease us that these are going to be the members, or these could be actual locations within this universe where we have a Rhino casino, we have an Electro phone company, we have a Vulture Corp, we have Oct 8, we have Scorpo, we have the Sandman Rolex, we have all these different like companies that these villains own, and they could all be rivals, and that is what maybe has caused such destruction and carnage and chaos within the city, is that you just have these different villains who are just warring on each other. And I think that is really, really interesting. Now, again, referred to as the Sinister Six. I'm assuming at least at some point they would team up, but this is a really, really cool idea. But the thing is, we don't know if any of this is actually going to be involved in the film. This is just a big, huge theory that the Sinister Six Cartel will turn into something bigger. It could just be a little reference, throwaway nod in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and will not at all be referenced again in Beyond the Spider-Verse, which would really suck. But then again, it's completely understandable because there's already a lot that is going to be going on in that film. So I wouldn't blame them if this isn't like a big part of their plan. But I definitely really hope it is, because I love the Sinister Six. We've never seen them properly done on the big screen before. So I think this would be, the setup is there, and this would be the perfect place to do it. So anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about this theory of the Sinister Six Cartel and their inclusion in Beyond the Spider-Verse after their first reference in Across the Spider-Verse? And do you think this will be the lineup? What type of designs would you like to see? Who would you like to see voicing the characters? Let me know down in the comments below. So thanks for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video and hit the subscribe button so I can keep you up to date on everything that goes on in the Marvel life.